Vandy's Cards and Yard Sales. What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to take a look at the most valuable Buffalo nickels from least to most expensive. This is part one of a three-part video. The Buffalo nickel, sometimes called the Indian head nickel, was produced from 1913 to 1921 and 1923 to 1938. And we're going to start off with number 30. So this coin's value is due to its rarity, particularly in uncirculated condition, obviously. About a third of nickels minted in 1915 were produced at the Denver Mint, and these are identified by a small D at the bottom of the reverse side. See it right there? It depicts the bust of a Native American profile on the front and an American bison on the reverse, bison also called a buffalo. The intricate design of this coin was its downfall. The features wore off quicker than most other types of coin. The date area was especially prone to wear, making it almost impossible to determine the date of many Buffalo nickels. This happens to me. I have so many of them, and I don't really know the date on them. So it's estimated that millions of these nickels are dateless, and so that makes the ones with the date higher in price. But the year alone doesn't necessarily determine a Buffalo nickel's relative value. Several circumstances factor in, including the quality, obviously. So this value here is $400 for this coin. Okay. Next up, we have the 1913D line type Buffalo nickel. The type 2 or line type Buffalo nickels produced in 1913 were an improvement over the type 1, which featured the buffalo standing on a raised mound. Didn't really look that good. In this design here, the buffalo is standing on a flat plane line. This was done to provide a recessed area to inscribe 5 cents in the hopes it wouldn't wear away as quickly. This nickel is priced at $454. Okay. Number 28. We have the 1914S Buffalo nickel. Less than 4 million nickels were produced in 1914. And as was typical, the fewest number were made in San Francisco. The San Francisco has the small S on the bottom here. You can see it. The coin was redesigned in 1914 to address the coin's tendency to wear down quickly, like we went over in the first coin. Since so few coins were produced, this coin is rare in any condition. And the value of this coin is $507. So whether it's great condition or worn, you could still get a few $100 for it. Okay. Number 27. We have the 1926D Buffalo nickel. The 1926 Buffalo nickels overall tend to be weakly struck, and those of high quality are very, very hard to find. Even those in lower condition are valuable. So a 1926D nickel in good condition sells for around $533, but like one that's extremely worn, like very, very, very heavily worn down, runs about 15 bucks. Okay. Number 26. We have the 1914D Buffalo nickel. Unlike the previous year, 1914 saw only one design type. With fewer coins minted in 1914 than 1913, this year coin in any condition from any mint is a scarce coin. Even though the Denver Mint struck almost 500,000 more nickels than the San Francisco, those from Denver fetched the highest prices. So any condition, this coin is worth $607. Okay, number 25, we have the 1928S Buffalo nickel. In sharp contrast to a decade earlier, about 37 million Buffalo nickels were produced in 1928. Almost 7 million of these were from San Francisco. Most of these are at the low end of the quality scale and are worth just a few dollars. but well-struck ones, however, are rare and they command much higher prices. So this coin in a better condition is $608 on average. Number 24, the 1925D Buffalo Nickel. This coin is especially hard to find in mint condition, making the difference in value between good and mint condition coins considerable. With approximately 45 million produced across all three mints, 1925 was among the higher mintage years, but it was still below the 70 million mark 5 years prior. This coin in excellent condition can fetch $847. Okay. I have one of these. Not in that good condition though. So we have for number 23, we have the 1917D Buffalo Nickel. More than 60 million Buffalo Nickels were minted in 1917, but most have extensive wear. The one that I have, you could barely see the buffalo on the back. Well-struck versions of the 17D are rare, but rarer still are those in uncirculated condition, almost impossible to find unless you have a lot of money to buy them at an auction. Less than 10 million were produced in Denver. Despite the fact that they saw heavy circulation in the West at this time, quality examples of this coin are very rare. Now you got to think about it for a second. This is over 100 years ago, only 10 million coins were produced. That's very, very low. Coin numbers today reach the billions, and it's just very hard to come by today. This coin runs you $847 on average. You can see the color difference from that one to this one. Number 22, we have the 1924D. While all three mints produced nickels in 1924, the total minted was still only about 29 million. San Francisco struck about a fifth of that made in Denver, while Philadelphia produced roughly 4 times as much as Denver. This coin runs you $874. Okay. Number 21, the 1923S Buffalo Nickel. After producing no nickels at all in 1922, due to a recession, I don't know if you guys know that, 1922, there was no nickels made. The mint struck more than 40 million in 1923. Roughly 6 million of these were from San Francisco, which was largely responsible for the Western supply of nickels, since none were produced in Denver. If you have one of these coins, you could fetch $1,028 for one in any condition. That concludes part 1 of this video. Let's go over to part 2.